Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. It's Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So today we are talking Ready to Love Potomac, and it is lit. We have the weekend episode right up the alley. We are almost done with this season, thank goodness, because I need a breather. I don't know about you guys, but I need a breather. Hopefully the Miami season isn't airing until like August or September, because we need like a few months off of just all this nonsense, you guys. So, this week is the week for the ladies to select a male by the end of the week to eliminate. And unfortunately, in the previews, they kind of spoiled who goes. I don't understand what was the point of having a cliffhanger and we kind of see who leaves based off of who you show us in the next clip. Like, make it make sense. Like, what's going on with the editing? Like, I can't with the shenanigans. But anyway, so into the episode, it has, all of the singles heading to, a home for the weekend. And this is supposed to be where people who have multiple connections are supposed to kind of have some one-on-one time and kind of explore and see, ultimately who they can narrow things down to. And then it starts off messy because ZAKIYA and JOI and CLIFTON all arrive first, and JOI puts her back in CLIFTON's room, and, ZAKIYA feels a certain type of way, and it's just all a hot mess, you guys. It is all a hot mess. Sabrina has multiple connections, and she friend zones TORY. Feels like she's unsure about Demetrius. It sounds like she likes Donovan the most, but she's unsure about him because he literally just got divorced a few months ago. And apparently has already had a couple of relationships since. So he doesn't seem like he's in the headspace of like a serious relationship. And then there's Carmen. She's getting to know Paul, and she also has a connection with Donovan, and she's like kicking her legs up with him and all this and that. And so we'll see. I think she's going to end up with Paul, but we'll see. Also, who else? I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Tina was supposed to show up, and she's MIA. She was MIA the whole episode. Donovan kept trying to call her. Nephew Tommy was asking about her whereabouts, and nobody knew where she was. So it was just very wild. It was very wild. Also, I'm trying to think what else happened, because it kind of flew by. It was a really quick episode, but mainly, the drama was regarding, ZAKIYA and CLIFTON, because he just wouldn't tell her, hey, I'm all in with JOI. I have stronger feelings with JOI. It's like he kind of just wanted her to be around it just in case, but it was just silly because it's like you're already sharing a bed together. And then furthermore, they wanted to have like an activity. They wanted to play games. But CLIFTON and JOI come out in not matching, but they both came out in onesies. So ZAKIYA felt a certain way because she's like, okay, this basically was obviously pre-planned. You guys pre-planned, with the intent of staying together as well as packing onesies to be like a couple and all this and that. And, and I think the thing is she didn't realize the magnitude of JOI and CLIFTON's connection. And I think she underestimated it, versus using the opportunity to get to know the other man when her connection, I believe it was with Eric, fell through, that she should have really been on the move to get to know other people besides CLIFTON. So I think that was probably a mistake on her part. But that's really mainly a lot of what took place. They were cooking, just having a good time, this and that. Like, it really wasn't a lot that went on this episode, to be honest with you. There wasn't really that much drama. It was more so Sabrina talking to all the men. Like I said, Carmen talking to Paul and Donovan, JOI trying to get the tea from Donovan on who his strongest connection was, CLIFTON trying to be wishy-washy with ZAKIYA, even though he knows, obviously JOI is his number one. Then there was like a weird interaction between Demetrius and Sabrina. So it was just crazy. But then in the previews, it looks like Tina shows up at the 11th hour when everybody's basically packed and ready to go. And I don't understand. I don't understand, because I thought, like, on a show like this that you have to commit 24/7, like, even if you have other obligations, even if you have work, even if you have other stuff going on, that you were still required to film for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of, hours. And, especially on evenings and weekends where you might have a date or you might have a trip or a barbecue or that sort of thing where it's going to involve the group, is when they're going to need you the most to film. So I'm just a little surprised, and I'm actually surprised that they're still letting her continue, because I thought that, like, something like that, they would have, reprimanded her or told her that she couldn't continue further with the show. So we'll see what happens there. Other than that, I kind of felt bad for Tory a little bit, because it seemed like he was defeated after Sabrina friend-zoned him. But to be real with you guys, I mean, and he knows it too. Like, he checked out literally the moment of that bonfire when Demetrius and, Sabrina connected in front of everybody. That was a blow to his ego, because he thought that he had the best connection at the time with Sabrina. And then at that point, he just completely checked out. He completely checked out, versus, trying to show Sabrina, like, hey, our connection's legit, our connection's real. He just completely, let some other guy just take your girl and swoop your girl, like make it make sense. Like, you should have fought harder to try to get to know her. And I kind of feel a way, because it's like, it's weird when men, they like it when the women are fighting over them. They love it when the women have drama and they like the same men. The men get off on that. But when a female has options, when a female has multiple men that are also interested in her at the same time, and she's dating multiple men at the same time, they feel a certain type of way. And then they want to call you wishy-washy or undecided and this and that. And really, it's not. You're really trying to get to know the different people to see who's the best fit. At one point in time, Tory was Sabrina's number one. But then he literally just went cold after that bonfire. Instead of making more of an effort to show her, hey, we have the strongest connection, we're going to be here till the end, and instead you completely just checked out and just kind of let the process get to you. So then at that point, Sabrina had to rearrange, okay, who's going to be in my order? Who am I going to like now? And that's where, they threw in Donovan, they threw in a curveball, as well as her connection with Demetrius started to grow. But I don't think she's going to go with Demetrius either, because when she met his friend, they're up here talking about she needs to be submissive, and Sabrina's not about that life. So I don't even know why she's still entertaining Demetrius in the first place. She should have actually had Demetrius in the bottom, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think she's his only connection at this point. So, boy, the things that the friend was saying when they had, like, the best friends come over was very much a red flag. So I'm very surprised that he's sticking around for another week. So there's that. But not too much happened. And then at the end, they were talking about the ladies reconvene with Tommy to say, who they had the strongest connections with, who they had the least strongest connections with. And so as far as the people who had the least amount of connections, a lot of votes for Paul, a lot of votes for Tory, as well as a lot of votes for Donovan. It seemed to be where all of the ladies were at. So they picked Sabrina to break the news. And once they said that they were picking Sabrina, I figured that that was going to be because it was likely one of her connections, because she technically had 3 connections in Demetrius, Donovan, and Tory. So likely whoever was going to be in the bottom 2 is likely the person going home. So they announced the bottom 2 of whose journey's at risk of ending, and it's down to Paul, it's down to Tory, and they're both like wishy-washy in the confessionals in terms of like who's gonna go. But they spoiled us in the previews, because we see Paul in the previews for the next episode. So I'm just a little confused as far as like, why are we seeing Paul in the previews for the next episode, and you didn't technically tell us yet who got eliminated? So I would have to deduce from that Tory's gone, that Tory's no longer on the show. I just don't understand. I never understand spoiling a show, and then you have a cliffhanger to have you anticipate the next episode, but literally in the next clip you spoil what's going to happen from the cliffhanger. Like, make it make sense. There's no cliffhanger to like, I just can't, you guys. I can't. So we know that Tori's gone, obviously, unless something else happens. And then it looks like something weird happens in the preview between Donovan and Sabrina, that they get into a little tiff or something. So I don't know what that's about, but we will see, you know, from there what takes place. It kind of sounds like they're having some sort of a roundtable where, you know, maybe they're saying, the different people are saying different things that happen in their couples that kind of rub them the wrong way. I don't know. I hope it's nothing serious in regards to the Donovan and Sabrina stuff, because they were one of my picks to go the distance, in addition to, I think Clifton and Joy will be there in the finals, and I think Paul and Carmen will be there in the finals, unless something completely crashes and burns with Sabrina and Donovan, and then I would say Carmen and Donovan. But I feel like Carmen has a stronger connection with Paul, and we just really didn't see it. I feel like she'll end up with Paul, Joy will end up with Clifton, and then I'm guessing Sabrina will end up with Demetrius, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how this thing with Donovan's gonna go. So I guess that's to be determined. Also, I'm trying to think what else. In the preview, finally, Clifton remembers that Dakiya is on the trip and has a conversation with her, explaining things. And, you know, she feels a certain type of way because she's like, hey, you could have let me know from jump that you were all in on Joy, and I could have used the weekend to get to know some of these other men so I could have other connections to pursue and to, you know, look into. But you kind of kept me hanging. You kind of led me on to an extent to make me think that there was something there, or that there would be a potential for us. But meanwhile, the whole time it was just always about Joy. So it ended up being like, it got to a point where it looked as though Dakiya was really upset, and then she just kind of leaves the conversation. And then, you know, Clifton asks where she's going, and then we see a clip of her outside crying, and I just feel bad for her. I feel so bad for her. Because I think everybody deserves love and happiness. And I think her process, she just really got a raw deal with a lot of the guys that she was into. Like, it was just nothing but mess. Like, it seemed every step of the way. So it's just really unfortunate, the kind of process that she had. Like, first the drama with Eric, and then thinking that there's potential there with her and Clifton, only for her to, you know, completely get an eye-opener at the retreat for the weekend at the house. And, you know, now she's scrambling because basically she's at risk of going home. So I don't know, like, what'll happen from there. Like, if there even is an opportunity for her to connect with anybody, or if her and Demetrius might connect or something, or if she's just going to say skip it and, you know, go home and eliminate herself or what have you. So we'll have to see what happens from there. And I don't know how Christina is able to, I don't even know. Like, literally, it feels like she missed out like on an entire week and a half of connections, and then just kind of like just showed up out of nowhere. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Like, I can't see a situation where she stays longer than the other women when she's kind of been MIA the past couple weeks. So I don't know how they're going to explain that when she like randomly shows up at the end. So I guess we'll see what takes place, but that's really mainly it, you guys. I mean, this season kind of flew by because it literally was just like back to back from the previous season, and we just haven't had a breather. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of a break before the Miami season airs, because this was just, I just still have PTSD, honestly, from last season of all the drama. So maybe I'm just kind of numb at this point. But I mean, I feel like the drama this season, well, outside of like the Eric situation and a couple of other things, but in terms of this particular weekend trip compared to past seasons, I feel like this is on the tame side. And it's not like, even though Dakiya felt a certain type of way, she's not the type compared to other seasons, to where she's trying to get buck with people or trying to start drama, or there's like these alliances to take out certain people or what have you. Like, I never got that energy from, you know, these women, although it does seem messy in next episode where Carmen's up here talking about, or she's getting into it with somebody about what's real and what's fake and what's plastic and what's not. I don't know what's happening, but it's very weird. It's very bizarre. And it's not that serious. So we will see what takes place with that, and go from there. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about this episode? Do you see a situation where DAKIYA can maybe formulate a connection, or do you think her journey basically is done because of the Clifton and JOI thing? And what do you think of the other couples this episode? Who do you think is going to get to the end? Do you think Sabrina and Donovan will work out whatever is going on? Or do you think Sabrina will end up with Demetrius? What do you guys think? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys again very soon.